and welcome again to Listening Librarians. I'm Jennifer and I'm with Katie, and this month we are going to be talking about some of our foodie favorites on audiobook. So, how would you like to go ahead and give us the first one, Katie?
Sure. Well, the first book that I listened to that's a foodie favorite made me want to eat grilled cheese, and that is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. It's from 2020, and it's about 10 hours long, and I actually listened to it accidentally because you had recommended a book called Meet Cute Diary,
Right.
and I didn't write it down, and I was like, oh, maybe it's Tweet Cute. And different book, both good. So this is narrated by Dan Bittner and Emily Schaefer, and it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet style rom-com where we have two high school students. We have Pepper. She is the swim team captain. She's a good grades, perfectionist kind of girl, and her family owns this massive fast food chain called Big League Burger. And then on our other side, we have Jack. He's the class clown. He has an identical twin, but somehow his identical twin is more popular and hotter in the other high school students' minds.
Sure, okay.
And he works at his family's struggling deli. And then the whole thing kind of gets set up that Big League Burger has announced that they're going to start doing grilled cheese, and they're calling it Grandma's Grilled Cheese Sandwich. Well, the deli that Jack's family owns has the Grandma's Grilled Cheese, and so he makes this kind of punny tweet about, look at this, big corporation stealing from the little guy, and a celebrity happens to see it and then retweets it, and the deli blows up in terms of followers. People are coming and kind of pinning them against one another, like who has the best grilled cheese.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. And then, of course, because it's a book, they both go to the same high school, and then they meet, and there's a little bit of romance. And it was just a lot of fun. And like I said, the tagline was "All's fair in love and cheese," which, that kind of drew me right away.
That'll do it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very tasty. I can't resist a good grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Well, my first one that I'm going to share is actually nonfiction.
Okay.
This is one that I'd heard about, and I thought, I got to get a hold of this, but I want the audiobook because it is Taste My Life Through Food by the actor Stanley Tucci, and It's read by Stanley Tucci. He's an actor I've enjoyed watching over the years, especially the movie Big Night. I don't know if you've heard of it. That goes back to, I can't remember when, probably late 90s, early double aughts.
I have not seen that, but I think probably a lot of audiences would know him as Caesar Flickerman from the Hunger Games series.
Okay. And also in the movie Julie and Julia, or Julia and Me, whichever that was, he played Julia Child's husband.
Okay, so he's got the food thing going on.
He's got the food thing, yeah. So this is a memoir that's focused on his culinary upbringing, his experiences over the years, really emphasizes his Italian heritage, and he just delivers it in his characteristic dry wit. And there are parts where you hear something and you're like, wait a minute, did I just hear what I thought I just heard? And you end up laughing like an idiot, which I do all the time anyway. But it's really relatable for those of us who grew up in the 70s, because 70s cooking was a thing. I'm just going to leave it right there. Yeah, it sounded very familiar to my own upbringing in some ways. But he includes some simple recipes that also have humor in the instructions, and tells some of the stories from like family Christmas and one of the traditions there, which also ties into the movie Big Night. I'm not going to give it away, but if you've seen the movie, really very, very funny and entertaining. And I felt like I was just sitting down with a foodie friend.
Oh, nice.
Talking about some of the things we love and enjoy. I will say I normally listen to audiobooks at 1.5 times the normal speed just because I want to get through things, but I don't want to go too fast.
Right.
This one I had to slow down a little bit to 1.25 times just because I wanted to really enjoy listening to it. So that was really quite a treat, and I just love that book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I really liked his portrayal, even though he was the bad guy in The Lovely Bones.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Yes.
All right.
Very creepy.
He could definitely do that, I'm sure.
So one of the other books I listened to was A Sweet Mess. It is a romance by Jayci Lee. So this came out in 2020, and it's about 9 hours. Now, it's narrated by Natalie Naudus, and I knew I recognized the name, and so when I clicked on her name in Libby, she has 72 audiobooks under her belt. So, you know that she's going to be good when they keep bringing her back. Yeah, she actually was one of the narrators for The Heart Principle, which I talked about for Asian American Heritage. Yeah. So this novel is about Aubrey, and it's just a fun little, romance. So Aubrey is a baker. She owns a very busy bakery called The Comfort Zone. And then we have Landon. He's our other character. He is called a sexy Korean hunk in the book description. And he is also a food critic. So while he is on his way to a very schmancy restaurant, his car breaks down and he is kind of like, I need somewhere to go. So he actually ends up at the Comfort Zone where they don't meet, but he incidentally gets served this monster cake that had been designed by a 6-year-old child for their birthday. So it's this beautiful chocolate cake, but then inside it's like peanut butter cream and gummy bears. And he's just like, ew, this is disgusting. So he decides to write a review saying this baker doesn't know what she's doing and she's totally arrogant and why would anyone want to eat this? But before she reads the review, they actually happen to meet at a bar and there's lots of chemistry because they don't know, this is the baker, this is my food critic. Well, that review that he writes actually really hurts her business. And he ends up feeling kind of bad about it. So he invites her to be a part of this cooking show that he's helping produce. And of course, there's more romance and chemistry there. And I wouldn't say they necessarily focused on one specific food. I don't like peanut butter, so I also would not have wanted to eat that chocolate cake. But it did very much make me want to go to beautiful Italian villas and just cook with sexy Korean hunks, I guess. Yeah. So it was fun. A little hokey at times, but what good romance isn't? Yeah, and I'm currently reading in print her new book, Booked on a Feeling. So there's definitely romance running through it. I think it's a little less chaotic than that start. So I'll get back to you once I've finished. Well, the other book that I have then is a YA book that came out just this year called Love from Scratch by Kaitlyn Hill. And in it we have Reese Camden, who's 18 years old, Southern girl. She's a marketing intern in Seattle for Friends of Flavor, which is kind of this media conglomerate, I guess. They have print, they have online presence. This is the job she's been aiming for a few years, and she wants to parlay it into working with them full time at some point. And then as her counterpoint, we have Benny Beneventi, who's the culinary intern. And he's kind of this happy-go-lucky, Mr. Cheerful, a little bit of a dude bro, but nice guy. Somehow, because of a filming snag with some of the professionals on staff, they get thrown together to have an impromptu piece of cake amateur hour. Okay. So they're supposed to bake together and
You know, he's culinary, she's marketing, but she's got her ideas, he's got his. They strike sparks.
Okay.
Because she recognizes he's her competition for a full-time job. But this impromptu video goes viral and people start shipping them.
Okay.
And she's like, I don't know if I don't want to be connected, but, you know, they have to work through some things. And while it's a kind of a light, frothy sort of romance, it also deals with a lot of really tough topics like sexism in the worklice, which she has to deal with to try and prove that she's worthy of a full-time job. Gaslighting, online bullying, because of course nothing goes perfectly well with people's online presence. But in Benny, then you end up having a hero who's willing to listen to what she's saying.
Love that.
And to do the work to do better. So that was a really nice thing to come out of the whole book. It doesn't look like it would be a serious book because it's a very pink and very entertaining cover, but there's a lot of hard stuff in it. And this one is 10 hours and it's read by Bailey Carr, and it was just a nice light break from some of the other things I like to get into.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds really cute.
So that's all I've got.
That's all I've got.
All right. So what's next month?
For October or no, next
September.
Next month is September.
The year is going fast enough as it is.
Yes. So we will be highlighting a Hispanic and Latin American authors and characters that are Hispanic or Latinx, and I am super excited about that because there's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
And great audiobook authors that are Hispanic as well. So I look forward to meeting you next month to see what we pick.
Sounds good. So we hope to see you then, and keep listening and keep reading.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.